Hi, I'm Trent Albers, Communications Manager for the City of Papillion, and today I'm here with Torri Pantaleon. He's been our videographer for Papio Vision, the city's cable channel, and also the video that we share on social media for the past 15 years. And big milestone for you, Torri, is you're retiring at the end of this month. How does that feel?
It's kind of scary. Not going to have a full-time job, but I feel good, I think, about what I've accomplished here. I like to think I did some kind of a service for the city. I feel fortunate that I was here for the growth, start of the growth. That was just incredible to watch. But to be part of what Papillion has accomplished in the last 15 years, and I do want to push that 6 years before that I did this job as a Cox employee. So I've got 21 years invested in Papio Vision and in the city of Papillion. So,
That's what I was going to say. Some of our Papio Vision viewers probably don't know, but tell us a little bit of the background, quick background of how Papio Vision got started, how you ended up on the city staff.
Okay, so originally I was the sports director and play-by-play guy for Cox Communications. And my boss, my vice president, Mike Kohler, came in one day and said, look, we want to start a channel down in Sarpy County, and you're just the guy to do it because of your experience. Well, I'll be honest with you, I fought it tooth and nail. I said, I don't want to give up my sports responsibilities. He says, you won't, this will just be added. So when we first started, I was in the La Vista Library, and La Vista, Ralston, and Papillion were all part of it. So I had to cover all three places. After the first year, Ralston and La Vista dropped out, and Papillion wanted to go more full bore with it. So they moved me into City Hall, and until 2007, I worked out of City Hall as a Cox employee doing Papio Vision, and it's evolved over the years to become what it is now.
What's a story that stands out to you?
I remember one time the fire department had this fundraiser, and people on the fire department offered to shave their heads. And what made this kind of stand out for me is my former employer, KETV, found out they were doing that, and they said, hey, could you provide us some footage and sound bites? And that's the first time any of the affiliated media in Omaha asked Papio Vision, and we actually got verbal on-air credit and graphic on-air credit for doing that. But it's just the fact that the fire department would come together.
What's it like to be a city video guy?
I had to acclimate because and being a newspaper reporter, I mean, we're both bona fide journalists, but I had to change my focus. Because like at City Hall, you're right there on 84th Street, and I'd hear a siren, and my first reaction was, no, that's not what we're doing here. So that was the biggest thing, was to change. But just take that attitude and turn it into a Papillion-centric focus. Papillion became my second hometown. I mean, I know Papillion as well as I know the town I grew up in back east. And I really feel a part of the butterfly society. That's how I call it. There was one time I wrote a script many years ago, and this was at the height of our growth. And I described Papillion as the shining star of the plains. And I still believe that. In our city council, our mayor, people like you, our other department heads, and just the rank and file, we all help to keep that attitude and that image. And I will always think of Papillion as the shining star of the plains, because it has just been tremendous to be part of all of this.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. Some of our viewers, Torri's always behind the camera. He's not often in front of the camera, but you're a born and raised Boston area guy.
Yeah, that's one thing I had to get used to, because I'll be honest with you, working up in Omaha, I was always in front of the camera. So getting behind it was a change. But yes, my hometown is Mansfield. We're about 30 miles southwest of Boston, 20 miles from Providence, Rhode Island, so we're close to the state line. For you NFL football fans, our high school rival is Foxborough High School, where the Patriots play. So I grew up.
He's a big Patriots fan.
Yeah, I am. And Red Sox, Celtics, Bruins. Yeah. When I finally realized I wanted to get into broadcasting, I had to kind of go to learn how to speak English school, because my Boston accent was so very, very tough. And I can say that now because it's true. I truly did used to park my car, and I did all kinds of. We add R's at the end of words where you don't have them. Like a lot of people back home, they'll call this state Nebraska. So the joke became, I eat pizza in Nebraska. That was the joke. After I graduated, I waited a year, then I went into the Navy, had 3 specialties, and my 3rd specialty was broadcast journalist. That's where I went to learn how to speak English school, phonetic school. And I was able to use my Navy training, turn it into a professional career. I never thought my skill set would fit in municipal government, but I'm glad it did because I needed a job at that time.
Well, didn't you go, you had a path through the local media here
Yes.
before coming to the city of Papillion?
Yeah, I started actually with Mitchell Broadcasting, which had 98.5 Sweet 98 at the time. It was called KQ 98 at the time. And I worked on their AM side doing a sports talk show. And then I was somebody pulled me into Omaha. I've worked for so many different frequencies on the radio side, but I have more TV experience than radio. I ended up being hired as a sports director at Cox Cable. We started doing 4 or 5 broadcasts a week, play-by-play, to include UNO, Creighton, AAA Royals, high schools, all kinds of stuff. Then I landed that sports anchor job at Channel 7, still doing play-by-play at the same time. So I was pretty visible. I was blessed.
Tell me what you're looking forward to about retirement.
One thing, our band is decently busy.
Blues Agent.
Yes,
Agent's your
Blues
band,
Agent
yep.
is the band. So I'm hoping with that I can spend more time in getting us booked. I teach part-time at UNO. They have been talking to me about possibly picking up a 2nd class. I also got, out of the blue before Christmas, I got an email from Midlands College in Fremont asking me if I'd be interested in teaching part-time. So there's that.
Oh, neat.
I'm still playing ball a couple times a week. And I don't know what else gets still to do. I haven't really thought about it much. I know this is self-serving, but even though I'm going to retire, I've been focusing on what I need to get done here. So I really haven't had too much of a chance to think past that. But I think, going forward, and with my 2 daughters still in town and my son-in-law, it's not like life is going to stop for me. So hopefully I'll find some other things to do. One thing I do want to say to anybody who sees this who I might have worked with, especially outside the city, I am so grateful. I get so many personal and thanks for the stories that I've done. The truth for me is I might tell the story, but I have to have a story to tell. So without all these people and all these relationships and people welcoming me into their professional and personal lives, I wouldn't have any stories to tell. So it's really on them that Papio Vision has succeeded, because without them, there's nothing, what do I tell people? So I just wanted to make that point.
On behalf of our community, on behalf of Papillion, thank you for what you've done the last 15, well, you said 21 years that you've been doing the cable channel. Thanks for telling Papillion's story. You've done a great job, and we're going to miss you. We've talked about hopefully maybe having you back for doing some announcing for Papillion Days and maybe Winter Wonderland when we do live broadcasts of that. I hope we're able to do that because we really want to see you around. So thank you so much, Torri.
Well, thank you, and it's been it truly has been my pleasure. I consider myself a Papillionite.
Cut.
Cool.